You've made your space, assembled your props, rid yourself of distractions, and viewed the modifying your yoga practice sections that apply to you. It's time to get started. In lesson 1, you'll practice basic movements and the beginnings of yoga postures. The lesson is practiced seated in a chair, except for a few minutes before relaxation, where you will learn proper alignment when standing. Your classmates practice relaxation lying on the floor, but feel free to sit in your chair. Remember to listen to your body and rest whenever you feel the need. Practice lesson 1 until you get familiar and comfortable with the postures. There's no need to hurry. You may do lesson 1 for as many weeks or months as you like. Lesson 1 begins with a chest opener, a great first start to your practice. Enjoy. This posture is a great beginning posture. It's a great everyday posture for everyone. The chest opener opens the front of your body. It helps to reverse the forward movement most of us are in for the majority of the day. We're going forward, looking forward over our computers, over our car steering wheel. It assists in releasing the shoulders back onto the back side of the body and bringing the thoracic spine, the spine between the shoulder blades, in. It provides an opportunity to quiet the mind and breathe, and it gives your heart and your lungs a little bit more room because you're over the roll and the front of the body is open. Okay, we're going to do a passive chest opener seated in the chair. So you'll take one of your blankets from the way it comes off the stack and roll it up from the long end. So you'll have this long tube. And then the blanket is going to go behind you, right up by the top of the chair back. You just hold it up there and then take your body back, your upper body back a little bit so that the blanket's between you and the chair, and take your arms behind the blanket. You got it, Ed. Now you're a little crooked there. We'll straighten that out a bit. Yep, and come back. That's right. Exactly. Exactly. Good. So in this chest opener, the upper body opens up, and the front of the chest opens up, and the thoracic spine, the spine between the shoulder blades and the back side of your body, comes in a little bit. So this has a tendency to reverse our forward motion. Most of us are in motion going forward during most of our life, and this brings the shoulders back, takes us a little bit more into an awareness of the back side of our body, and opens up the breastbone, the chest. And if you can't lie on the floor, then it's a way to experience a chest opener and get the benefits of a chest opener without having to be on the floor. Sense and feel, notice your breath as it's coming into your body. Sense and feel, notice your breath as it leaves your body. Not making changes or judgments, just noticing the breath as it comes and as it goes, sensing the rib cage expanding with the inhalation, releasing with the exhalation, allowing the breath to wash in and wash out. Take the roll out from behind you. And if you will take your blanket right back onto your stack. feet. Well, in my opinion, your feet are probably the most important thing you need to pay attention to in yoga. Your feet are the foundation of your posture and your standing, the foundation of all your yoga postures. These exercises increase the flexibility of the feet and ankles, and they also help you to develop a sensitivity and a connection to your feet, a connection from your brain to your feet. Doing the foot exercises, the stretches, the toe lifts, the interlaces and turns can be very helpful in reducing bunions, hammer toes, can help with plantar fasciitis and other foot ailments. So I think it's pretty important to make sure that you keep your feet not only healthy, flexible, and strong, but also maintain this body-mind connection between your head and your feet. Foot exercises are foot stretches. Roll the inner thighs in and down. Bring the flesh and skin of the buttock bones back to sit up tall. Interlace your fingers into your toes. Try and get your fingers all the way down into your toes, webbing to webbing. Hold on to your foot and turn circles with your foot. Turn circles in both directions. Take your toes towards your shin and away from your shin. Do a little twist with the ball of the foot. Stretch and spread your fingers inside your toes, and remove your fingers and keep the space. For the toe turns, bring your foot up, take your thumb and first finger to the base of the big toe, holding onto your foot. Turn your toe in one direction all the way to the top of the toe. Go back to the base, turn in the opposite direction to the top of the toe. Go back to the base and tug. Do the toe turns to each and every toe, turning in one direction then the other. And then stretch and spread the ball of the foot from the center out to the sides. And run your thumbs down the arches of your foot. Toe lifts. Take your feet out in front of you, parallel to each other, weight bearing evenly in the inner and outer balls of the feet, inner and outer heels. Stretch and spread the toes. Lift the big toes up, take the big toes towards each other. Then lift all the toes up and take just the big toes down. Big toes down now, baby toes down as well. Middle three, lifting and stretching, even on the four corners of the feet. Then lift all the toes up and take the 8 little toes down. You can get a little help from your fingers if you'd like. Then big toes down, 8 little toes lift up. Big toes down, baby toes down, middle 3 lift up. It may help you to mimic with your hands, either on the floor or on your knees, what you're trying to do with your feet. Relax your feet a little bit as you're done. Give them a little pat on the floor. So we'll start with sitting up tall. I'd like you to have your knees directly over your ankles. Shoulders back, lift the breastbone and chest. Take your right hand underneath your right thigh. Bring your foot up off the floor and turn some circles with your foot. Turn in the opposite direction. Take your toes down towards the floor. Take your toes up towards the ceiling. Once more down towards the floor, and once more up towards the ceiling. And then turn some circles with the hip. So we're feeling the thigh bone roll around in the hip socket. Turn in both directions. And then take your ankle onto your thigh. Take the palm of your hand to the sole of your foot. Interlace your fingers with your toes. Try to get them all the way down, webbing to webbing. Hold on to your foot and turn circles with your foot. The harder this is, really, the more you should do it. Turn in both directions. Take your toes towards your shin. Take your toes away from your shin. Do a little twist with the ball of the foot. Stretch and spread your fingers inside your toes. Remove your fingers. Keep the space. Come to your left leg. Take your hands underneath your left thigh. Turn circles with your foot. Turn in both directions. Take your toes down towards the floor, and these might be getting more important for you if the swelling comes back. And up towards the ceiling, and down towards the floor, and up towards the ceiling, and one more time, down towards the floor, and up towards the ceiling. Take your hands under your thigh, turn some circles with the hip. Bring your ankle onto your thigh. Interlace your fingers with your toes. Hold on to your foot and turn circles with your foot. Turn in both directions. Take your toes towards your shin. Take your toes away from your shin. Do a little twist with the ball of the foot. Stretch and spread your fingers inside your toes. Remove your fingers, keep the space. Good. And then take both feet flat on the floor. Take your hands underneath your right thigh. Bring your leg up, turn a few circles with the hip. Turn in both directions. Take your ankle onto your thigh. Hold on to your foot. Take your thumb and finger to the base of the big toe. Turn till you get to the top. Go back to the base and turn till you get to the top. Go back to the base and tug. Do all that to all 5 of your toes. Turning in one direction, turning in the other direction, and tugging. Kind of like you're screwing in a little candelabra bulb and then screwing it out again. And a tug. After you've turned each of your toes, stretch and spread the ball of the foot. And run your thumbs down the arches of your foot. If you find any tender spots, spend a little bit more time there. Good. And bring your foot back on the floor, feet parallel. Take your hands under your thigh, turn some circles with the hip. Take your ankle onto your thigh, hold on to your foot. Turn all the way up on one side, turn in the opposite direction, and then tug. Do all 5 of your toes. After you turn each toe, stretch and spread the ball of the foot. And run your thumbs down the arches of your foot. If you find any tender spots, spend a little bit more time there. Good. And then take both feet flat on the floor. Feet parallel, stretch and spread your toes. Make space between each and every toe. Lift your big toes up, leave your little toes down on the floor. If you can lift your big toes up, take your big toes towards each other. Base of the ball, the big toe is down on the floor. The big toes are lifting, the big toes are reaching towards each other. Take your big toes down, back down to the floor. Press your big toes into the floor, lift the 8 little toes up. Try not to draw the outer foot off the floor, just the 8 little toes, and stretch and spread the 8 little toes. Then keep the big toes down, take the baby toes down, and lift the middle 3 up. Stretch and spread the middle 3. You're getting there, Lee. Good, and relax your feet. Give them a little pat on the floor. Thank you, Beryl. Got incredible toes. So we'll start with sitting up tall. I'd like you to have your knees directly over your ankles. Your feet parallel to each other, and you want to sit away from the back of the chair a little bit so that you're not using the chair back to sit, but rather using your low back muscles and a little bit of your abdominal muscles to sit up. Take the inside of your thigh down and the outside of your thigh up and back. Bring the flesh and skin of the buttock bones back so that you're sitting a little bit more forward on the ischial tuberosities, or sitting bones. Sitting bones are those big bones you feel underneath you that are into the chair right now. If you roll a little bit, they're into the chair. They're called ischial tuberosities. Often in yoga, we refer to them as sitting bones. Sit up tall. Let your feet reach down evenly into the floor, the inside of the feet, the outside of the feet. Beryl, your feet are actually turning in a little bit. Bring the heels in slightly. Good. Let the feet be heavy, let the sitting bones be heavy, and from this groundedness of the feet, the groundedness of the sitting bones, let the spine lift up. Lengthen up through the crown of the head. Your chin is level, your head comes back in line with the rest of the spine. Open up the shoulders, widen through the collarbones, lift the breastbone up. Reach down through your feet, reach down through your sitting bones, lift up through the crown of your head. Relax your face and throat, and breathe. Good, we'll start with just a little bit with opening up the arms. Take the arms out to the sides. Extend from the center core of your body out through your middle fingers. Lengthen and extend through your thumb and first finger. That's right, Ed. Lengthen and extend from the back side of your body out through your ring and little finger. Keep all that going, but draw back in as well from your fingers to your mid-body. Turn your palms to face up. Inhale and raise the arms up. The shoulders stay down and back away from the ears. It's fine to take your arms as wide as you need to keep them straight. Head back, chin level. Good. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Release your arms back down to your sides. Good. And then take an inhalation and bring the arms up. And exhaling, release the arms down. Sit up tall and inhaling, bring the arms up. And exhaling, release the arms down. And one more time, inhaling, bring the arms up. And exhaling, bring the arms down. Good. Bring your shoulders up to your ears and let them go. And shoulders up to your ears and let them go. And one more time, shoulders up to your ears and let them go. Turn your palms to face out and leave a little space between your upper chest wall and your upper arm. So there's gonna be a little space up in your armpit. Bring your shoulders up to your ears and let them go. And this time I want you to say, I don't know, when your shoulders are up there. Bring your shoulders up to your ears, I don't know. And release. And one more time, shoulders up to your ears. I don't know. And release. There's something nice about saying I don't know for me. Something like, okay, well, I don't know. You're exempt. Till you find out more, you're totally exempt. Let's take the right hand to the left shoulder. Give yourself a pat on the back. Got up this morning, took a shower, came here. Take your pat down the outside of your arm. Give yourself a hand. Yay! Come up the inside of the arm. Come across your chest and holler a little bit. Change sides. Take the left hand to the right shoulder. Come down the outside of the arm. Give yourself a hand. Come up the inside of the arm. Come across your chest and holler. Good, and release. Bring your shoulders up to your ears and let them go. And shoulders up to your ears and let them go. Good. Take your right hand right above your right ear. Take your right elbow out to the side. Press your hand into your head and your head into your hand. Relax your face and throat. Good, and release. Second side, you're going to take your left hand right above your left ear. Left elbow out to the side, sitting up tall. Press your head into your hand and your hand into your head. Good, and release. Then you're going to make a baseball mitt with your thumbs reaching down towards the floor. Let your thumbs come down the back of your neck. Your first fingers are going to be right at the base of your skull. Extend the arms out to the sides. Press your head into your hands into your head. Relax your face, relax your throat. Keep breathing. Good, and release. The hip opener increases flexibility and sensitivity in the hips and the structures that connect the upper body to the lower body. It also eases tension in the hips and low back. It's a great warm-up for any yoga practice, and it's especially good for those who sit in a chair for the majority of the day. Is there enough room there, Ian? Just a little bit further back? Okay. Sit up tall, those of you who are seated. Ankles directly under your knees. Lift the breastbone and chest. Take your hands underneath your right thigh and turn a couple of circles with the right thigh. And then bring your ankle onto your thigh. Bring your hands onto your hips. Take your shoulders onto the back side of your body. Those of you who are seated, to keep the spine tall. Take a breath in as you breathe out, fold from the hips. Keep the head back, chin level, fold from the hips. Relax your face and throat and breathe. Oh, that feels good. Good. And those of you who are seated, bring yourself back upright. You'll put your feet on the floor. Release your right foot back to the floor. Both feet parallel once again. Bring your hands underneath your left thigh. Turn some circles with the hip. Bring your ankle onto your thigh. Bring your hands onto your hips. Take your shoulders back. Keep the spine long. Head back, chin level. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Fold forward from the hips. Shoulders stay back. Head stays back. Good job, Ed. Keep the head back, chin level, fold from the hips. Relax your face and throat and breathe. Bring yourself back and take your left foot back to the floor. And Lee, if you'll bend your knees into your chest, roll onto your right side and use your hands and arms to sit up. Ardha Jatharata Parvartanasana. Ardha means half. Jathara means belly or abdomen. Parivartan or parivrita means turning or revolving. And asana means posture. So the name of the pose is half belly revolving posture or half spinal twist. The spinal twist releases tension in the spine, releases tension in the shoulders and in the neck. It massages the internal organs in the pelvis and aids in the process of elimination. If you only have time for a few poses, I think this is an excellent pose to do and pretty manageable for most folks. Extend your arms out to the sides, turning the palms up. Your arms are a little lower than shoulder height. Inhale, raise the arms up, shoulders stay down and back away from the ears. Take your right hand back behind you, let the fingers point back behind you. Take your left hand to the outside of your right thigh. Bring the shoulders back, bring the head back in line with the rest of the spine. Lift the spine, lengthen the spine skywards. Your left hand's gonna come around. And the left shoulder kind of wants to lead the way. Keep the left shoulder back, head back, in line with the rest of the spine. On your inhalations, lift the spine up. On your exhalations, lift and turn. Head back, chin level. Inhaling, lengthening the spine. Exhaling, lifting and turning. Relax your face and throat and breathe. Inhaling, lift up. Exhaling, lift and turn. Keep breathing. Good. Bring yourself back to center. Good. Check to see that your knees are still over your ankles. Sometimes things slide around a little bit. Extend the arms out to the sides. Turn your palms to face up. Inhale, raise the arms up. Shoulders stay down and back, away from the ears. Bring your left hand back behind you. Point the fingers back behind you. Bring your right hand to the outside of your left thigh. Right away, the right shoulder wants to start leading the way. Don't do that. Let the right shoulder stay back, head stay back. And take the turn from the belly and from the low spine first. Inhaling, lift the spine up. Exhaling, lift and turn. Good, Ed. It's like the yardstick business that I pulled on you the other day. Poor Ed, he was in class the other day, and I was bringing a yardstick to his back, making him stay back with the yardstick, just like our old school marms do. But I'm not telling him that you're the one that brought the yardstick in for me to use. So this stays lifting up, this part stays lifting up, and then the turn. Head back, chin level, breathing. Good, bring yourself back around to center and release your arms. Padangustasana, Eka, Dwi, and Tri. Padangusta means hand to big toe, and asana means posture. Eka means one, Dwi means two, and Tri means three. So this series of postures, hand to big toe posture, number 1, number 2, and number 3. And the common name, because it's what you do, is the leg stretches, number 1, 2, and 3. The leg stretches extend the legs in preparation for the rest of the practice, or after a vigorous practice, it helps to release the tension in the legs, pelvis, and low back. The version 2 opens the front of the pelvis, and version 3 opens the base of the spine. If you're athletic, this is definitely a series of postures you need to do every day. If you have back injuries or muscle tears, you may need to modify the poses to better suit your needs. Find your belt. Wrap your belt around the arch of your right foot. Take your left hand back behind you. Point the left fingers back behind you. The whole purpose of that back arm is to help keep your spine lifted. Stay firm into your left foot. Take a breath in as you breathe out, lift the right leg up. Shoulders stay back, head stays back. Straighten the leg as much as you can. It might need to be lowered to be straight, that's okay. Straighten the knee. Then turn the leg in its socket out to the right. Keep the left foot firm. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Bring the right leg up and over to the right, keeping the left side of the pelvis stable. Now, his tendency is going to be for the left knee to fall out to the side. Don't let it. I know it's hard. Good. Bring your foot back to center and release your foot for a moment. Change hands with the belt. Now, Ann, you'll just go back straight. Twist this tighter, not very good for you anymore. Take your right hand back behind you to help support the spine. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Lift the right leg up. Keep the left foot firm. See if you can get the right leg higher than the left. And then cross over. I don't know why, but this always reminds me of can-can girls. Keep the spine lifted. Stay tall. Yeah, come back to center and release. And take the belt around the left foot. Take the right hand back behind you. Both feet now, right now, firm in the floor. And the key to this right foot is the inner right foot stays firm, and we keep the right knee from rolling out to the side as much as possible. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Lift the left leg up. Turn and rotate the leg in its socket to the left. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Take the left leg out to the left. Keep the spine lifted. Stay tall. And try to avoid letting that right knee fall out to the right. Keep the inner foot firm. Relax your face and throat and breathe. Good. And come back to center and release the belt. Take the belt into your right hand now, your left hand back behind you. Take a breath in as you breathe out. Lift the left leg up. See if you can get the left leg a little higher than the right and cross over. And for those of you who've been athletic your whole life, this stretches the legs, but it also stretches the piriformis muscle at the base of the spine. Athletic people seem to feel it a little bit more than others. Come back to center and release. Good. Okay, let your belt come down to the side for a moment. Take your feet a little wider than your chair legs. Still feet parallel though. It's harder when your feet are wide. Take your hands onto your thighs and your shoulders back. Take a breath in as you breathe out, fold forward from the hips, letting the crown of the head extend forward as the buttock bones release back. Relax your face and throat and breathe. Good, and bring yourself back upright. Tadasana, mountain pose. Tada means mountain and asana means posture. Common name of this posture is mountain pose or simply standing well. Tadasana is the quintessential yoga posture. It's the basis for all of the other standing poses. Mastering Tadasana, or standing well, is a practice that can be done anywhere, anytime. Standing well improves all the functions of your body and enhances your appearance. Practicing Tadasana will improve balance of your whole self and help you to improve the stability of your body, your mind, and your spirit. Take the feet a comfortable distance apart and parallel to each other. When you're looking at parallel, draw lines down the center of your second toes all the way through your foot and make sure those lines would never meet. Balance your weight evenly on the base of the ball, the big toe, the base of the ball, the little toe, and the inner and outer heels, rooting evenly. Lift the arches of the feet up. Draw the leg muscles into the bone and up. The inner thighs come back slightly. The tailbone comes down and in. The pelvis is in a neutral position. Reach and extend from the core of your body down through the four corners of both feet. Draw from your feet back up into your body. And from this stability of the legs and pelvis, the spine lifts up, collarbones open up, the shoulders broaden. The head comes back in line with the spine, front of the neck, back of the neck equally long. And you reach and extend, lengthen up through the crown of your head and down through your feet. Mountain pose. If stability is an issue, you may want to lie on the floor and press your feet evenly into the wall. Make sure when you're practicing mountain pose that you don't push and lock the knees back. There should always be just a little bit of space behind the back of the knee. The thigh muscles lift up rather than the knee pushing back. Take your feet a comfortable distance apart and parallel to each other. And as you consider parallel, draw imaginary lines through your second toes all the way through your feet. And make sure that even miles behind you, those lines would never, ever, ever meet. Stretch and spread your toes. Bring your weight forward a little bit into the balls of your feet. Bring your weight back a little bit into your heels. Go the inside of your feet a little bit, the outside of your feet a little bit, maybe a little sway to the left, sway to the right. That's an old cheer. You guys know it? Sway to the left, sway to the right, stand up, sit down, fight, fight, fight. Not very yogic, the fight, fight, fight part. So you're going to press into the base of the ball, the big toe, the base of the ball, the little toe, and the inner outer heel. Let the arches of the feet lift up. Draw the leg muscles up. The energy of the shins is in towards the midline and slightly forward. So we don't push the knees back. We do draw the leg muscles up. The inner thighs draw back. The tailbone drops down and in. The front hip bones lift up. There's a drawing into the midline. Collarbones widen and broaden, the shoulders broaden, the head comes back in line with the rest of the spine, and you're in Tadasana, mountain pose. Savasana. Sava means corpse, and asana means posture. So the common name of this pose is corpse pose, or relaxation pose. The name corpse pose reflects the stilling of the body. When you bring your body into stillness in relaxation pose, you can observe your mind and train yourself to become quiet and calm and watchful. It's important to practice relaxation pose at the end of all your yoga practices to further your understanding of your practice. So even if you only have a few minutes to practice, don't leave out the relaxation pose. Those who are in the second or third trimester of pregnancy, or those who have heart or respiratory problems or back injuries, may need to modify the pose to be comfortable lying on the floor. For relaxation pose, do your best to make yourself as comfortable as possible. You may want to roll under your knees or some support under your head, which should be brought right up to the tip of your shoulders, but not underneath your shoulders. If it's cool in the room, make sure you put on socks or a little bit more clothing, or put a light blanket over the top of you. Lying on your back, turn the underside of the arms to face up. Nestle your shoulders, tuck your shoulders a bit down into the floor, opening up the front of the chest. Take a moment to make yourself even on the right and left side of your body. So where the back of the right hand is touching, the back of the left hand is touching, where the right buttock bone is touching, left buttock bone is touching, right heel's touching, left heel's touching. And then after having done that, just allow yourself to release away from the midline of the body. To come out of the posture, take a deeper and a longer breath and let it go. You might want to wiggle fingers and toes a little bit to bring your attention back to the surface. Bend your knees, roll onto your right side and pause there for a moment. Then use your hands and arms to bring yourself up to a comfortable seated position. You may want to practice relaxation pose with your legs elevated on a chair seat. Or if you're in the later stages of pregnancy, you may want to do a side-laying relaxation pose. If you have back concerns and you're more comfortable elevated, stack a couple of blankets in a wedge shape underneath the spine. Okay, come into a relaxed position. So some of you like to put your legs up on a chair seat. Some of you like to be flat, and we're gonna do side laying relaxation for you. So I would like you to maybe put some socks on or some overclothing if you're at all cool, or get a blanket to put over top of you if you're at all cool. If you usually take support under your head, you'll take support under your head. So bring yourself on down to the floor and make yourself comfortable. You can be on the roll if you would like. So let your eyes close. Allow your eyes to release and relax away from the front of your skull. Allow the space between your eyebrows to release and relax. Allow some space between your upper and lower teeth to release and relax your jaw. Allow your mouth to release and relax the roof of the mouth, the floor of the mouth, the inner right cheek, the outer right cheek, the inner left cheek, the outer left cheek. Allow your tongue to release and relax in the lower palate. And if you can imagine, even your gums and your teeth releasing. Allow your ears to release and relax and take your sense of hearing inward. Let all the muscles of facial expression release and relax so that your face becomes expressionless. Allow your throat to release and relax. You may need to swallow to do that. Flesh and skin of the skull releases and relaxes away from the bones of the skull. The throat relaxed, the shoulders releasing into the support of the floor, over the blankets. Find and feel your breath. Notice your breath as it comes into your body. Sense and feel. Notice your breath as it leaves your body. Not making any sorts of judgments or deliberate changes. Just noticing, sensing, feeling, watching your breath as it comes and as it goes. Very interesting process because it's a self-study, this observation of the breath. You are the observer and that which is being observed. And each time you breathe out, allow yourself to release and let go a little bit more. The arms release and relax, the upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, palms of the hands, backs of the hands, all 10 fingers releasing. Each exhalation allowing the spine to release more and more as the front of the body is open and spacious and expansive. The buttocks and hips release and relax. Bones of the pelvis releasing into the floor. The legs releasing and letting go into the support of the floor, the support of the chair or blankets. Thighs, the tops of the thighs, the backs of the thighs, the inner and outer thighs releasing and letting go, the backs of the knees, fronts of the knees, inner and outer knees releasing, the calves and shins letting go, released. The ankles releasing and letting go, the tops of the feet, the soles of the feet, and all 10 toes releasing and letting go. And continue to follow the rhythm and pattern, the sound and feel of your own breath. This is your own life rhythm, oxygen, energy, life breath. This process of turning your attention inward, facilitated by observing the breath, allows you to come away from the surface, away from all those things outside of you that you cannot control. It allows you to begin to find your sense of peace, your sense of tranquility from within, which is really the only reliable source for peace and tranquility. Your breath is always with you until you leave this world. It's a very valuable practice to just spend some time observing the breath, allowing yourself to release with each exhalation. And just allow yourself to rest here for these few moments, not doing, but just being, just breathing. And then bend your knees, wiggling fingers and toes. Bring your attention back to the surface. You might take a deeper and a longer breath and let it go. Bend your knees. If your feet are behind the chair seat, you might point your toes a little bit. Roll onto your side, your right side, and stay there for a moment. That's right, Beryl. You'll come up and over. And then once you can get the roll out from underneath you, lie flat for a moment. And then when you're ready, you can roll to your side. You use your hands and arms to bring yourself up to a comfortable seated position. You can come up into your chair. You can just turn yourself around, maybe sit up on your blankets a little bit. Sit up tall. Bring your hands into Anjali Mudra, Namaste position. Let your eyes close, let your head release so that the gaze of the eyes, if they were open, would be downwards. And then gently open your eyes. And as you're ready, lift your head. Okay, thank you all very much for attending. There's a traditional greeting at the end of a yoga class. The greeting is generally done in this mudra or hand position we're in now, which is Anjali Mudra, the heart mudra. It's said to represent wisdom and compassion coming together at the heart. I hope you'll have wisdom and compassion for yourself as you move through your day and for those about you. And the greeting Namaste is an ancient Sanskrit greeting and still used quite widely in India these days. And Namaste is a recognition of our tie together as human beings and recognition of a creative life force that lives within each of us. Namaste. Have a great rest of your day and a good week. Thank you all for coming to class.